Hi, everybody. Paul Gray here. Thanks for joining me again for Convertible Conversations. This week we've been talking about unconditional love stories, instances where people have given us unconditional love and grace for something that we did against them that they didn't hold against us. Boy, when that happens to us, it's really amazing, and it's kind of hard to talk about. As I was thinking about what I'm going to say today, it's a little hard for me to talk about this. I had a music degree at the University of Kansas, started a band when I was there, continued playing with that band for another 25 years or so after I got out of college, sometimes full time, sometimes while I was doing some other things. Had some music stores in the 1970s and had a nightclub, a jazz place that we played at. And after about 9 years of that, I really decided I wanted to see what I could do with the band. So I sold the music stores, kept the nightclub to play at when we weren't playing somewhere else, and went on the road with my band. And we started traveling all over the country. It was a six-piece group. Five of us were at the time roughly 30 years old, give or take two or three. One guy was 30 years older than us. His name was Clyde Bison, and he took an early retirement from the job he'd worked at for years to go on the road with us. And he was a great musician, tenor sax player, flute, clarinet. He'd had his own band in the 30s and 40s and 50s. He hadn't played a lot, just a little bit here and there for the last few years before I asked him to join my band. And he was a great addition to our band. He was a wonderful guy. He was a great player, especially in Kansas City swing big band type music. So we go on the road, and after a couple of years, we change a couple of people in the band, and the band is really, really good. And we wanted to start doing some other music other than the big band and Dixieland that we were doing. We started doing a lot more contemporary things, Latin jazz and bebop and contemporary, even some fusion type things. And a couple of the guys in the band convinced me that it would be a great business decision to replace my friend Clyde with somebody who was 30, 40 years younger than him, who was a really great musician. And I listened to that advice, and I made the change, and the band was able to go on and do, if you will, bigger and better things. That's one, it is the biggest decision that, looking back, if I had it to do over again, I would not do it. My friend Clyde, and I replaced him with someone else. My friend Clyde gave me great grace. He never complained. To my knowledge, he never complained to anybody else about me replacing him with somebody else in the band. He continued to come and listen to us play and support us. And then, I don't know, several years later, when I went back to being a more local band instead of traveling full time, he joined us again. Again, never complained, never brought it up to me that I let him go and that type of thing. And that was a real act of unconditional love and grace, because he could have been bitter. He could have, you know how people can be in situations like that, and justifiably so. But it was a business decision, but it's a business decision that I regret now. But the lesson that I learned from that is my friend Clyde just gave me tremendous grace, unconditional love and acceptance, never held that against me, and was just wonderful about it. So that was an instance of unconditional love being given to me. Clyde continued to play with me. We didn't play full time, but we played together up until after his 98th birthday. And if you'd like to see a church service that we did, a celebration of grace that we did on Clyde's 98th birthday, and we talked about unconditional love that whole time, you can go to Fishnet Experience, all one word, fishnetexperience.com, and click on audio or video. You can see see and hear some instances of Clyde playing there. But if you go to godisforme.org, all one word, godisforme.org, you can see that church service at Celebration of Grace where we played with the band and honored Clyde and featured him in a lot of different things. So hope I made that clear. 2 different places where you can see and hear him. The church service on his 98th birthday at godisforme.org. Other recordings from 30 years ago at fishnetexperience.com and click on audio or video there. Clyde was a great man. He died roughly a year ago. He would have been 100 years old, October 13th. And the thing I remember about him, in addition to being a great musician, a wonderful friend, a great guy, was the unconditional love that he gave me in what was a hard time in his life that was brought about really by me. Hope that's encouraging to you. I want to be like Clyde and do that with other people. And of course, that's what God does with us. Paul Gray, folks, thanks for watching. See you next time.